my name is Avani, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make homemade eclairs. These eclairs are filled with the delicious vanilla pastry cream and dipped with a chocolate glaze. If you've never made homemade eclairs before, you're in for a treat. So let's get started. We're going to start by making the vanilla pastry cream. The things you'll need for the vanilla pastry cream will be 1 cup of whole milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3/8 cup of granulated sugar, 1/8 cup of cornstarch, 1/16 teaspoon of salt, 2 large egg yolks, and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature cut into cubes. The first step is to pour the milk into a heavy bottom saucepan. Take this over to the stove. Then bring the milk to a boil, stirring occasionally. Once the milk has come to a boil, take it off the heat. Then in a large mixing bowl, combine the granulated sugar, cornstarch, salt, and the egg yolks. Then with the hand whisk it. In the beginning it looks very crumbly, but just keep on mixing and it'll come into a smooth paste. This will take a couple of minutes. This is how the paste should look. It is very smooth. Once that's done, slowly add in the milk. With the same hand whisk until it is smooth. Once that's done, pour the mixture back into the saucepan and take it over to the stove. Put the gas to high and whisk continuously until the milk mixture has started to look like pudding, and then take it off the heat. You'll start to know that the custard is getting ready as soon as the custard starts coming off from the side. Once the custard is done, continue whisking for a few minutes. Once that's done, add in the butter and the vanilla extract. Whisk continuously until the butter has completely melted and the custard is very, very smooth. Then add the custard to a large mixing bowl. Cover the custard right on the surface with food-safe plastic wrap and refrigerate for 30 minutes to an hour or until the custard has set completely. Now we're going to move on to the choux pastry. The things you'll need for the choux pastry will be a 1/4 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of whole milk, 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, half a teaspoon of granulated sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, half a cup of all-purpose flour, and 2 large eggs. To begin, combine the water, milk, salt, sugar, and butter in a large heavy bottom saucepan. Take that over to the stove and continuously stir with a wooden spatula until everything is melted. Once everything is melted, add in the flour and mix. Then take the dough out of the saucepan and pour it into a large mixing bowl. Beat that with a hand mixer or with an electric hand mixer or with the stand mixer until it has cooled down. This will take about 2 to 3 minutes. Once that's done, add in the eggs, one at a time. Between each addition of the egg, make sure to mix well to incorporate. Scrape the bowl down occasionally to make sure that everything is smooth. Once that's done, prepare a piping bag by cutting off the end and fit that with the large round circle tip. I over here am using a Wilton 2/8 tip. Fill your piping bag with the choux pastry dough and then tie it off with a rubber band or a piping bag tie. Once that's done, prepare a baking sheet with a silpat like me, or just parchment paper greased with some baking spray. Then pipe long strips 3/4 inches away to allow room for expansion. The neatest way to do this is to pipe the eclair shape and then pull back. And don't worry if your eclair shape is not that neat, because here's a tip. You can take a bowl of water and dampen your finger. Once you've done that, take your finger and just pat down any messed up shapes. This will make sure that your eclair shapes are nice and neat once they have baked. Bake your eclairs for 10 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and then without opening the door, reduce the temperature to 325 degrees and bake for another 30 minutes. Once your eclairs have baked, take a small, sharp piping tip, and I'm using a small star piping tip, and pipe 2 to 3 holes and poke 2 to 3 holes on each eclair depending on the size. Sometimes I even just poke 1 hole if those are super small eclairs. Pop those back in the oven at 325 degrees for another 3 minutes to crisp up. Once that's done, take the eclairs and put them on a baking tray to cool completely. Once they have cooled, take your custard out of the refrigerator and whisk them with a hand whisk or a spoon. In this case, I used both, and whisk until the custard is smooth. Then transfer the custard into a piping bag fitted with a 2A Wilton tip, and again tie that with a piping bag tie or a rubber band. Once that's done, take your eclairs and fill the custard in the eclairs. Do this by inserting the tip of your piping bag into the holes that we made earlier to fill the custard inside of the eclairs. And don't worry if there's dollops of the custard on the outside of the eclair, because we are going to fix that very soon. Fill all of your eclairs with custard. Then with an offset spatula or knife, take away the excess custard. Once that's done, we're going to make our chocolate glaze. For the glaze, you will need 2 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and 1/2 cup and 1/4 cup of very hot heavy whipping cream. In a small mixing bowl, combine the semi-sweet chocolate chips along with the heavy whipping cream and use a spatula to ensure that all of the chocolate chips are well coated underneath the heavy whipping cream. And you will need a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream that is super hot. You can make it super hot by putting it in the microwave like me for about 45 seconds or heat it up over the stove. Then let the chocolate and the heavy whipping cream sit for 1 to 3 minutes, and once that's done, whisk together with a spatula or a spoon to make sure that everything is super smooth and that there are no lumps of chocolate. If there are still lumps of chocolate, you can just put the bowl in the microwave for about 10 seconds and everything should melt. Once that's done, we're going to dip our eclairs into the chocolate glaze. Just take one eclair and dip the top of the eclair into the bowl, just like so. Then do this to the rest of your eclairs. Now for the taste test. These eclairs are so delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed and thanks for watching my video. Bye-bye.